Hi, I'm Prince Love live from Planet Earth. You are watching Chixxflix. Man, it's so much to talk about, honestly. So much to talk about. I gotta start going live more often. We have to get into the Epstein files. The files they finally released after 30 days from when Trump signed the executive order to release it after he was forced to release it because the House had to vote on it. He wouldn't release it for a while, and we finally got it, and it's just a bunch of bull. But there's some things in there I want to talk about. We got to talk about this Tyloo situation with this girl Jordine accusing him of sexual assault. We have to talk about Nicki Minaj at Amfest, the American First Festival, of course, organized by Turning Point. We have to talk about that. Maybe we should start with that, actually. Maybe we should hop right into that. You know, hold on, I'm sorry. Kind of tired. Maybe we should start with that. You know, every few breaking news, Nicki Minaj is once again not a good person. Breaking news. Her and Erika Kirk apparently we all saw it, Nicki Minaj at Amfest. America First Festival organized by Turning Point, obviously. So Erika Kirk brings her on stage, and breaking news, Nicki Minaj is not that good of a person. Breaking news. The Nicki Minaj that called Cardi B's daughter a monkey. She also married a convicted sexual offender. Like, every few months, people find out that Nicki Minaj might not be a good person. Every few months, people find out that Nicki Minaj, she got some hard bars. She's good for hip hop, but she might not be a good person outside of that. Every few months. So she gets on the stage, and of course, I mean, who asked for this? What are we going to talk about with Nicki Minaj? Why is she even speaking on anything that has to do with politics? If I had to guess, I would assume she knows nothing, but it's okay. So let's talk about it. So she gets on the stage, and she immediately goes in defense of white women. She immediately goes and she says, I quote, she says, just because I want little black girls to think they're beautiful doesn't mean I need to put down little girls with blonde hair and blue eyes. Nikki, what do you mean by that? When have little girls with blonde hair and blue eyes ever been put down? When have women with blonde hair and blue eyes ever been put down? The woman you're sitting next to, Erika Kirk, on stage with her, that woman, yeah, she's millionaired up. A lot of you don't know, Charlie Kirk made over $300 million while he was alive with his Turning Point USA. They also, when he left, when he was unalive, Erika Kirk herself and the Turning Point organization, they raised at least 15 million. And they just keep getting money and money and money and money. Erika Kirk is blonde hair and blue eyes. She's good. Her kids will be good. They are millionaired up. All of our first ladies are white women. No one is putting them down. I'm bringing that up, the first lady thing, because no one is putting them down. You are making things up. And you are doing this for some reason. Like, why are you doing this? Just because I want little black girls to think they're beautiful doesn't mean I need to put down little girls with blonde hair. Who's putting them down? They're never put down. They're on the cover of every magazine. Blonde hair, blue-eyed women. They're on the cover of every magazine. They're the first ladies. What are you talking about, Nikki? Who's putting blonde hair, blue-eyed white women down? No one is doing that. No one is doing that. No one is putting them down. But she comes on Amfest, and she's sitting in front of Erika Kirk, and she says this, and you're like, okay, so that's what you're here for. You're here to be the security guard for blonde hair, blue-eyed white women. That's what you're here for, Nikki? You're here to be the security. She comes on there and she says, we need to not put down blonde hair and blue-eyed white women. When have they ever been put down? So you're here to be a bodyguard. Okay, is that not the stereotype? That when white women and black women are friends, the black woman is the security guard. She's the protector. Kind of like with Ariana Grande and that woman she's in the movie Wicked with, that black girl, that black woman we see her with. Every time we see them in an interview or Ariana Grande is on the red carpet. We see that black woman next to her guarding her and pushing people off. Didn't everybody see that clip of that black woman pushing some guy off that was trying to, like, I guess, touch Ariana? Ariana has all of the security around her, but the black woman comes out and the next to her comes and pushes the guy off. So we see this all the time. And Nicki, as pretty as she is, she's doing the same thing. Some security guard or something like that. Aren't you tired of that? You know, slavery is over. You don't have to do this. But she comes on stage and she goes and she says this. Okay. Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm tired. I saw Joe Budden. I saw him say, you know, he's done. He's done with Nicki after this. He's not. He's done with her. He's like, sorry, Barbs. He's done. I saw Waka Flocka's, the mother of his kids. I forgot her name, Tammy. I saw her post something and say she's tap dancing or something like that. So I saw some people react to it. I saw some people react. I'm just like, it's the right reaction because it's like, what are you doing? It's not because you're on the side of the right. That's not why. It's because you're tap dancing. She came on there to tell us to not put down blonde hair, blue-eyed white women. Bro, no one puts them down. They're pushed up. No one puts them down. But she comes on there and she says that, a security guard for white women. Aren't you tired of that? You're doing that on the plantation and you're doing it now. So I thought that was special. I thought that was special to say the least. Very special of her to do that. Do I have any more quotes from her? Do I have any more quotes from Nicki Minaj? She said something like, "Oh, she's proud of President Trump, and that he's going to stop the bad guys." I'm thinking, yo, Nicki, Trump is the bad guy. Nicki, you're in front of Erika, Kirk, and you're saying that you're proud of President Trump because he's going to stop the bad guys. Trump is the bad guy. He is the bad guy. Trump is the bad guy. When has he ever been the good guy? Was he the good guy when he put in the newspaper to try to get Central Park five black men unalived? And he wanted them unalived. And he put in the newspaper, hey, they need the needle or something like that. Or they basically, the government needs to put them down. Was he ever a good person now? Is he a good person now when he's taking pictures with, who's that guy on the train, the white guy that choked out that black guy? What's his name? I forgot his name, but him and JD is taking pictures with him. Is Trump a good guy when the only thing he's done since he's been in office, for black people at least, he gave us some statues of some black celebrities. Wow, he's really the good guy. Something that means nothing, something symbolic that absolutely means nothing. Some statues. We need direct funding. We need reparations. He gives us statues. When has he ever been a good guy? I bet if anybody asks, hey, Nicki, how is like Trump a good guy? She wouldn't be able to tell us. But she's in this, and it's like, this is why you need. Here's the thing with black celebrities and millionaires, black celebrities that are millionaires, like Nicki Minaj, like the Jay-Z's of the world, or anyone else. They're not on your side. You will not be getting help from your black celebrities. You will not be getting help from your black 1%er class. You will not be, because they have different objectives than you. They're not going to help you, and they don't see the world like you see it. Nicki Minaj was once broke. She hasn't been broke in a very long time. She hasn't been broke in decades. She is a multi-platinum selling millionaire rapper. She does not have the same she does not see the world like you see it. She is not feeling the effects of this economy. She is not feeling the effects of inflation. She's not feeling the effects of whatever Trump puts in his executive orders. So she sees the world differently from you, and she's damn sure not listening to you. And she doesn't care about you, and she doesn't even care if you're a kid. She called Cardi B's child a monkey. She doesn't care. So, and this was on Twitter when they were having that spat. So when you see this, you can't be too surprised at how she is. It seems like every few months people look at Nicki and they go, oh my God, she's not a good person. She's married to a convicted sexual offender. I promise you, no one that's a good person would do that. She is literally married to someone that was convicted of a sex crime. I promise you, she doesn't see the world like you see it. She could have married anyone. She's Nicki Minaj. So when you see this, and I'm yarning again. I'm so tired. When you see this, you can't be too surprised, but apparently everyone is every time. So we got that. So that was a part of the Amfest. One of the people they brought on stage, right? And it's like, can she not read the room? Everyone is suffering. People are paying for things with Klarna, an app that lets you can buy something and it lets you put it on like not a like layaway, but it lets you like pay for it like in payments, separate payments. So 1 week, let's say an item is 100, you'll pay 25 1 week, 25 the next. People are paying for things with Klarna. Are you not reading the room? It is a terrible time right now. I forgot the percentage. I would think it was like 40% of Americans that can't afford a $400 emergency, and even more that can't afford a $1,000 emergency. I don't think Nicki Minaj read the room. Sorry. But you have her saying that, and you're watching, and you're just like, wow, she is not reading the room. So we had that. That was just one of the things I wanted to talk about with the Amfest. It's just like this America First Festival. Then we also had Vivek. Once again, Vivek has to push back on Nick Fuentes. Once again, Vivek has to, he's not going to ever use the racist word, but he's going to put it in a way where you can understand what he's saying, but he's not going to directly say it, but he's going to push back because Nick Fuentes will not stop saying that Indians are G's. He will not stop saying that he wants immigrants out. He will not stop being anti-brown, anti-black. He will not stop being racist. He will not stop giving white people an excuse to be racist. He even literally said, I quote, Nick Fuentes literally said, white people have all the right to be racist. So when you and your children are getting these racial attacks or experiencing racism or the history of America being racist, he just thinks, hey, that's okay. That's the game. So Vivek has to keep pushing back on this, right? And he said something in an interview recently. He said something along the lines of, this is from Fox News, what does it mean to be an American in the year 2026? It means we believe in those ideals of 1776. He said it means, by the way, 1776, when black people were slaves, bro. He said it means we believe in merit. The best person gets a job regardless of skin color. Well, I'm sorry, Vivek, but Nick Fuentes and the racist right, the party that you're in, they don't believe in that merit and regardless, you get the job regardless of skin color. Yeah, it doesn't seem like they believe in that. It seems like they're very racist and you're receiving a lot of racial attacks because you're brown. So they don't even believe in that. And then he goes on to say, it means we believe in free speech and open debate. He added, even for those who disagree with us, from Nick Fuentes to Jimmy Kimmel, you get to speak your mind and open without the government censoring you. Okay, so let's address that. Nick Fuentes and Jimmy Kimmel are not the same. They don't have the same ideals of Vivek Ramaswamy. You're trying to he's still not trying to go directly at Nick. He's trying to stand on the fence. Sir, you are going to lose. If you lose Ohio governor, it's going to be so sad because you continue to pander to white people, even the racist ones. You continue to pander to racist white people. So if you lose governor of Ohio, because now Nick is saying he's going to go against you and he'll see you in Ohio, it's going to be really sad because this is embarrassing. He literally said, I'm not even joking, this is a quote, even for those who disagree with us, from Nick Fuentes to Jimmy Kimmel. How is Jimmy Kimmel anything like Nick Fuentes? Nick Fuentes is literally anti-brown, anti-black, anti-women having voting rights. He literally says we should repeal women having voting rights. How is Jimmy Kimmel and Nick, how is that even, that you're comparing apples to oranges? How is Jimmy Kimmel's, when have we ever thought, oh my God, Jimmy Kimmel is so anti-brown, Jimmy Kimmel is so anti-black, Jimmy Kimmel is so, when have we ever thought Jimmy Kimmel was a racist? But you see, he doesn't want to go at Nick Fuentes directly. He also doesn't want to use the R word, racism. Sir, you are experiencing racism because you are brown, because you are Indian. Sir, you are experiencing racism. That's what you're experiencing right now, Vivek. And hiding from and not attacking Vivek, not going at Nick Fuentes directly and saying, hey, he is being racist, the right is being racist, this needs to be carved out and stopped. You want to say, even Nick Fuentes and Jimmy Kimmel and Nick Fuentes are two different people. You're comparing apples to oranges. So you have that problem. And by the way, my price is going to keep going up, Vivek. The longer you don't call me and ask me to help you with this Nick Fuentes problem, because it seems like the people on your team can't help you. My price, yesterday's price is not today's price. Yesterday's price is not today's price. So if you seem to have a Nick Fuentes problem, you might need some help. If you want some help, I can help you with your short 5'5", white supremacist, quarter Mexican Nick Fuentes problem. I can help you with that. But the prices keep going up as the days go by because yesterday's price is not today's price. So I can help you with your Nick Fuentes problem, but yesterday's price is not today's price. So as I'm telling you guys, Vivek is just not like, he's not going to address it. He's never going to say, hey, I'm experiencing racism. This is racist. Are Black Americans the only people that stand against racism in the United States of America? Vivek Ramaswamy 100% will not use the word racist or racism when he's talking about Nick Fuentes because he wants to straddle the fence. Are Black Americans the only people that actually go against white supremacy and speak up when white people are being racist? I think we are. Because even Vivek, who's a billionaire and who's running for Ohio governor, who probably was going to lose because they don't want you there because you're an Indian and brown, the right, the people you want voting for you, those white people, 95% of the right is white. So you have a serious problem on your hands. And it's like, I think Black Americans are the only people that like stand up for themselves. Yes, we have our coons. We have our coons like Brandon B. Tatum. By the way, side note, Brandon B. Tatum gave Turning Point, Erika Kirk, and her family a $460,000 check. I don't even have words for that. You gave Charlie Kirk raised over $300 million for Turning Point when he was alive. He's a millionaire. Since he's been gone, they've raised over $15 million for Turning Point. His wife is a millionaire. You go ahead and raise over $400,000 for Charlie Kirk and his wife, the widow. I can't even put in words how much of a coon Brandon is and how much Black conservatives have to do to get white approval. But anyway, back to Vivek. I think I had all that to say about Vivek, but it's just like, Vivek, if you lose, this is going to be embarrassing. If Vivek loses in Ohio next year, after all this pandering to white people, after not calling out Nick Fuentes being racist to him and the right being racist to him for being Indian and brown, you've been pandering and kissing white ass since you've been on the scene, on the scene of politics. If you don't win governor of Ohio, this is going to be so embarrassing. Oh my God. However, he's not the only person that spoke at Amfest, or he's not the only person that recently spoke on Nick Fuentes. In a recent interview, actually, there's more guys. It says, this is from USA Today. It says, Vice President J.D. Vance lashed out at a political activist, Nick Fuentes, over the weekend for derogatory comments he made about his wife, Usher Vance. If you guys don't know, yeah. He said, let me be clear. Anyone who attacks my wife, whether their name is Jen Psaki or Nick Fuentes, can eat shit. Vance said in an interview published by online magazine Unheard. That's my official policy as Vice President of the United States. So once again, just like with Vivek Ramaswamy is comparing Jimmy Kimmel to Nick Fuentes. JD Vance is saying Nick Fuentes and Jen Psaki. Once again, they don't want to push back directly. They want to like straddle the fence. They don't want to push back against Nick directly all the way. They want to straddle the fence. So he's bringing up Jen Psaki, and then he's bringing up Nick Fuentes. Vivek is bringing up Jimmy Kimmel, who we've never thought Jimmy Kimmel was a racist. We've never thought he was anti-women's rights. We've never thought this. He's bringing up Jimmy Kimmel and Nick Fuentes. So Vivek Ramaswamy is bringing up Jimmy Kimmel and Nick Fuentes. JD Vance is bringing up Nick Fuentes and Jen Psaki. So both don't want to push back on Nick directly, and they don't even want to use the words racism. Hey, JD Vance, when Nick Fuentes is calling your wife a Jeet, which is a very derogatory, very offensive word for Indians, he's being racist. That's a slur. That's a slur for Indians. Jeet is a slur for Indians. Yeah, he's being racist against your wife. Your kids are also Indian. You had kids with an Indian woman. That's called racism, is what you're receiving, JD. Talking about Jen Psaki is not going to push away from that fact. Hey Vivek, when Nick is saying he's not going to vote for you because you're brown and you're from India and you're Indian, and he has nothing but anti-Indian remarks against you, that's also racism. Neither of these men are going to use that word. They understand that they're on the right. The right is a hate group full of hateful white people, so they don't want to use the words hate group. They want to just straddle the fence. Well, not hate group, my bad. It's a hate group, but they don't want to use the words racism because they can't. Because they know that they can't, and they know they're a part of a hate group. So what you have is two men who I'm not even shocked. I'm not even shocked. They also brought up the fact that Nick Fuentes called JD Vance a race traitor on one of his live streams. You can't make this up. But they still don't want to go after Nick directly. Okay, no problem. They don't want to call out racism either from their side. No problem. Not a problem. We'll see how this pans out. But it's hilarious to watch. The hate group, the right, is eating themselves. Hasn't been a year yet, guys, but we're still in 2025. A few days from 2026. Now, that's JD Vance. I guess we can transition into Trump, right? And the Epstein files. So the Epstein files that they published days ago, they released, it had a lot of pages that were just blanked out black. And it was just black. There was nothing to see. So you would go and click a file and you would be trying to read and the page would just be blanked out black. A white paper and just black lines. You can't read it. So they're hiding a lot of the stuff. They're hiding a lot of the information. And we got a lot of pictures. We got Chris Tucker in there. I'm not saying Chris Tucker did anything, but he's in a picture with Ghislaine Maxwell, Jeffrey Epstein's girlfriend, who was also trafficking kids. She's convicted of it. And we got Chris Tucker in there. We see a picture of Michael Jackson. We got a picture of Winnie the Pooh. Some people were saying Winnie the Pooh is part of it. This is not funny, but So we didn't get much, but what we got is that if you were around Jeffrey Epstein's, here's what we got from the files that were released recently, which is not much because they still haven't released everything. They didn't release everything, but we got some stuff. So it's a waste of time. So what we did get is what everybody probably noticed, what I noticed is if you were around Jeffrey Epstein, pictures were always 24/7 getting taken of you. I mean, this guy was taking We saw pictures. Jeffrey Epstein, he's talking to someone, and there's a picture. They're saying it's like a picture, a picture, a picture. Dinners, picture. In the pool, pictures. He would have a photographer there just taking pictures, or someone just taking pictures. And it's like for the people that were around him, it's like, how could you not know something's up here? Something's up. There's even a picture with Chris Tucker. There another picture, not the one with Ghislaine Maxwell that Chris Tucker took, but there's another picture where he's eating at some place, and he's like this, and the person's taking the picture, and I'm like, he's like this, and I'm like, damn, they. I wonder what he was thinking in that picture. Like you were getting pictures of you taking. So it's clear that you're not just taking pictures because we're all just buddy and we're all just friends. No, you're doing this for a reason. And the reason is what we all think, blackmail. Because even if you didn't do anything with Jeffrey Epstein or with Ghislaine Maxwell, his girlfriend, or if you didn't do anything on the island, or if you've never flown to the island, just having a picture with Jeffrey Epstein or his girlfriend, it makes you look weird. It makes you look like a suspect. And it makes it, you can be lied on. So that's one thing I noticed. And and I'll be honest with you, I already knew it was going to be nothing. There's no way in hell they're going to be like, they're going through all this trouble to hide who the girls were trafficked to and to hide what's going on and to prevent the files. The only reason we even have these files is because Trump was forced to sign the executive order to release it. So, because they had a vote. So, it's nasty. And let's be honest. Why would they not do this? Why would they not keep certain files of Jeffrey Epstein away? Why would they not continue to play around and to not even follow the law of releasing all the files? Because they know, what are y'all gonna do even if they did? Are you gonna, let's say they released all the files on Jeffrey Epstein tomorrow, and you find out business people, politicians, influential people, powerful bankers were just out here doing nasty little things they shouldn't be doing with kids. Are you gonna, in 2028, go ahead and line and vote again? Probably. So it's like they know they got you. They know they're not going to change how you approach politics. Most of you are going to be first in line to vote in 2028 for J.D. Vance or Gavin Newsom and watch nothing change and not have them own up to what they said they were going to do. Trump said he's going to release the files. He's giving all this pushback. He's waiting to the very last day from when he signed to release the files. He's waiting for the very last 30-day up. So 30 days from when he signs the executive order. He waits till the 30th day to finally release it. Wow. They're really preventing. And what he releases, a bunch of bull. So it's like, even if we got names and dates and you knew who was on the files, you knew who did what they did, most of you would still line up to vote in 2028 for either JD or Gavin Newsom. You would change nothing. And they know this, which is why they treat us like this. So I'm watching this and I'm like, wow, the response should be, we're not voting for a president in 2028. That's what the response should be. It doesn't matter who you vote for. They're hiding things. They are trafficking young girls. They are not locking up the criminals of this. The victims are getting no justice. They're not releasing the Epstein files. They're saying they're going to. They don't. They break the law. And then in 2028, you sign up to vote again for either J.D. Vance or Gavin Newsom. Why would they take you seriously? Why would Trump not act the way he is acting? Why would Biden release anything? You're not standing on business. So it's like on one hand, it's like Trump is breaking the law, not releasing the files, not releasing everything, blanking out files when he does release it. And on the other hand, it's like the people are still going to line up to vote in 2028 for either J.D. Vance or Gavin Newsom. If we got names, dates, names of people, dates, locations, would that change anything with how you approach politics? For most people, I don't think it would. and things need to change. The politicians are not going to help you. The bankers are not going to help you. The celebrities who are getting paid by the system is not going to help you. It needs to be the people that change the mindset and then how they approach politics. In 2028, nobody should be voting for a president. That's really all I got to say about that. But we got one more to talk about, one more topic. Speaking of sexual assault, as y'all know, Lil was accused of sexually assaulting this girl Jordan, from a streamer afterwards the streamer awards were a couple days, like a week ago. It's now, what is it, December 24th right now. It was a week ago, I think, or 2 weeks ago, and he got accused of assaulting Jordan after the awards. The way I'm gonna just give y'all a quick, because I gotta go. I'm gonna give y'all a quick summary of what the events of how she put it and how he put it. These are some of the details of both. But apparently, Talil says that after Streamer Awards, Jordan asked to get in his car for some reason, to get in his car, and he let her in. Then they got to the hotel. She asked to use his bathroom, and he let her use the bathroom. And then this is where Talil says whatever happened after that was totally consensual between both parties, Jordan and himself. Jordan, the girl who's accusing Talil of the sexual assault, she's saying that once she came out the bathroom, Talil was on demon time, and he was like, I gotta fuck, I gotta fuck, I gotta smash, I gotta smash, I gotta hit, I gotta hit. What she said in quotes was, he said he gotta fuck, he gotta fuck, he gotta fuck. So she said that happened, and then she said that it wasn't consensual. Here's where it gets kind of weird. In a couple videos after all that, she's been posting on Twitter, she's been posting on Instagram. She says, Instagram Live, she says that, like, he was sucking on her toes and his dick is little and blah, blah, blah. When you say things like that, it makes it seem like you weren't sexually assaulted. Is that how a victim would really look at things and say that out loud? Talil is saying he's showing proof of, after the fact, she requested $2,000 from me, and he shows the receipt of her requesting. I think it was on PayPal, $2,000, or it was Zelle, $2,000. And she put in the writing, she put, for playing with me. So she was requesting $2,000 after the fact, after they slept together, after she got home. Speaking of her getting home, he said that he first called in Uber, and it was the Toyota that showed up. He said that when she went and saw it was a Toyota, she came back upstairs and she said, "Do I look like I should be driving in a Toyota?" She was like, "Get me a Maybach." And he shows the Uber he had to cancel, and then he shows he got her a Maybach, not a Maybach, a black truck. And he points out that, hey, if she was really trying to get away from me, if I really sexually assaulted her, she wouldn't have came upstairs and told me to get her a new Uber, and she would have just went in the Toyota and dipped off. I guess that's a good excuse if it's true. If she really only came back upstairs because of that. She also says he took her phone and broke it or something like that, and she didn't have it. And then Talil shows us of text messages, and the timing is weird because it's California time, and it's just, the whole story is just weird, and we need to wait for more to come up, but I'm trying to give you guys some details. And also, I want to say this too, because I saw a lot of people saying this. Damn, I'm kind of mixing up the story for you guys, because I'm trying to remember the details they were both given. But I'm gonna put it like this. Sorry, you're running again. Basically, Talil is saying he didn't sexually assault her. He's saying she's only mad because his phone rang when they were next to each other, and she saw it was his girl calling. He said when she saw that, she got pissed off because she didn't know that this was going to be a one-time thing, and he got a girlfriend, obviously. Once you see his girlfriend call, you know you're just for a hit and quit. She don't want to be treated like that, so she then comes out and say he sexually assaulted me. That's what Talil is saying. She's saying it's not because of that. She's saying she didn't want to do it. She's saying when she used his bathroom and she came out the bathroom because she asked to go upstairs to use his bathroom, she's saying that after the Stream Awards party, she's saying that he was on demon time and he was saying he has to fuck, and apparently he did fuck, and apparently she sucked his toes. He sucked her toes, and he was able to do that, and that she didn't kick him off. She didn't kick him, and she should have. But apparently this is still sexual assault. So that's the claim that's happening. Talila is saying, hey, she's just mad because I had a girlfriend and I didn't tell her that, and it's a one night stand. He also showed us a recording because he said he got nervous when he was on the phone with her, so he started to record. And on the recording, she says she's never had a one night stand before. Now, we all heard that recording, and I heard it, and that makes it look like it wasn't sexual assault. It makes it look like she really is mad because it was a one night stand and she thinks she shouldn't be treated like that. My thing is, if you open your legs to a guy after the first time y'all meet at a party, then you are that. You are a girl that does that. And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that, but let's not pretend like he owes you more than that. And like, hey, I have to give it to Tyler. Like, this dude, like, this is why you can't sleep with everything. You gotta know who you're sleeping with, because look at her she's putting some mess on your career. Tyler came on and said, obviously I know some people are saying, oh my God, wait, he was cheating on his girl. He was cheating on his girl. Now, do I agree with him cheating? Of course not. However, at the level he is, I also don't think he should have to sleep with one girl. He's like the top 5% of men who earn what he earns, of income. He's like at the top 5%. Nobody's telling Usher to be loyal to anybody. No one's telling Leonardo DiCaprio to be loyal to anybody when Leonardo gets with 19-year-olds and ditches them when they turn 25. So Talil should be able to do his thing. He should be honest about it. Niggas would rather kill each other than be honest with women and say, hey, I'm not going to only sleep with you. I'm going to sleep with multiple women, but you can be my girl who I love and give most of my money to and whose bills I pay. But niggas won't say that, but they'll fight you and kill you. Ain't that some shit? Anyway, so that's the situation right now. What do I think? I think Tyler is innocent. I don't think he sexually assaulted that girl. And I think she really is mad because it's a one night stand and that she didn't know that until his girl called his phone and she saw. I think she's also crazy and loony. And I've seen some of her lives on Instagram, and she seems not all there in the head. She seems very weird. And I'm sure Tyler, like a lot of us, you see with a girl and you don't know she's weird until after. So we'll see how this goes, but he's not all the way innocent yet. We still have to see what else they have. More information is going to come out. Obviously, this is being investigated because of who Tyler is. And obviously because it's assault. So we'll see what happens, but that's all I have to say about it. Yeah. Moral of the story is watch out who you sleep with. Start being honest with women. If you know you're not a monogamous guy and you want to fuck multiple bitches, which most men do, tell your girl that or tell her that before she becomes your girl, because you'll get in situations like this where now you're being not only accused of sexual assault, but everyone's pointing out that you're cheating on your girl. Anyway, I'm Prince Dear Love. This was a great show live from planet Earth. You're watching Chixxflix. Please remember to subscribe, follow the Twitter, the Facebook. Put your notification bell on so you know when I go live on YouTube. Follow me on TikTok. Share this video, please. It helps. And I will see you guys on the next show.